Several states are holding primaries tomorrow, including governor and senator contests in Minnesota and the primary to replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. We have reporters on the ground following the top races. Mark Strassmann in South Carolina and Jonah Kaplan in Minneapolis. Mark, let's start with you. What are you hearing? What'd you see?
Interesting race here, Major, that comes down to really a double test of brand loyalty. Loyalty to two political names, Graham and Trump. Darlene Graham, the sister of the late senator, now running for his seat, and she has been endorsed by President Trump. How will that play with voters? Well, we caught up with her outside a Columbia restaurant and asked her this morning, what issue matters most in your mind to Americans?
I want to focus on health care, affordability, the things that really matter to the people in South Carolina. Again, not that national security is not important, but again, you got to go to the food line behind you and buy groceries every day to support your family, right?
There are 10 Republicans running in this special primary, including 2 sitting congressmen from South Carolina and a former governor from South Carolina. And they are trying to convince the people who are going to show up at the polls tomorrow that Lindsey Graham's sister has the name, but she doesn't have the chops to run for office now. But this is what they're up against. We caught up with this guy also this morning.
Well, I'm a Trump guy. I voted for him in every election in South Carolina and national. And I think it carries some weight. You know, again, if she didn't stand for the policies and the things that I stand for, like the Second Amendment, closing the border, I wouldn't support her. I wouldn't vote for her. But Trump supporting her, that carried a lot of weight as far as I'm concerned.
And with 10 candidates in the race, most people here do not expect an outright winner. An outright winner would have to have more than 50% of the vote, which means we're probably heading for a runoff. That would be on August 25th. Major?
Mark Strassmann, thanks so much. Jonah joins us from Minneapolis. Set the scene for us. What's going on tomorrow? What have you heard?
Well, it's so interesting, Major, because if you think about all the major national issues that came to a front last week in Michigan, well, all the national issues actually happened in Minnesota. So if you think about immigration and Operation Metro Surge, the conduct or a referendum on the Trump administration, even the Iran war, one of the first casualties was a soldier, Master Sergeant Nicole Amer. She's from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. So everything here has a very local tie. But this is also a proxy war about the future of the Democratic Party. You've got 2 Democrats, basically all-stars in the party, but very different wings. You have Congresswoman Angie Craig, who has won a Trump district 4 terms in a row, and you have Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, connected to Tim Walz, but a champion of the progressive movement.
This race is about the many versus the money. Corporate PACs, special interests, AIPAC have all been spending a lot of money in this race in support of my opponent. It is the most expensive Senate primary in Minnesota history, and I'm beholden only to the people. I'm not taking any corporate PAC money, and so, you know, I sleep just fine at night. That means I need to hustle a little bit more, but I think we need representatives in Washington, D.C. who work for the people and not for billionaires or corporations.
Well, Major, you hadn't asked it yet, but I was anticipating a question about where both candidates have stand on certain things, and we had a chance to talk with Lieutenant Governor Flanagan today, who was kind of feeling the winds in her sails from Abdul El Sayed's victory in Michigan and hoping that the issues there were going to translate to turnout here. But as I asked in that follow-up question, what about what's on the minds of many Minnesotans here, which is what they've experienced over the last 6 to 12 months? And again, Angie Craig, especially for the Democrats who want to see a general electorate being able to win in November against a very formidable candidate, Michelle Tafoya, who's a former sportscaster. And Minnesota, we've shown here that they will think outside the box. Al Franken, Jesse Ventura, 2 of those names that come to mind.
And when you talk about Michelle Tafoya, Jonah, real quickly, when you describe her as formidable, she's untested statewide, but she does have tremendous name recognition. How is her campaign actually developing?
She has big name recognition, and she's also got big money. If you also look at all of the candidates across the country in terms of fundraising, she beats out both Peggy Flanagan and Angie Craig in terms of the money that's been raised so far. And Republicans here really see this as an opportunity. Yes, presidential-wise, even Walter Mondale couldn't lose Minnesota. But Norm Coleman, you don't have to look back in recent memory to find a Republican senator from this Gopher state.
Jonah Kaplan, thank you very much. I appreciate it.